Dogs are about as far off from being natural as it possibly gets. Just look at this image for a few seconds. Look at the dog's misshapen skull and its bulging eyes. Look at its snout. It is evident how aberrant dogs are, just based on their outward physical appearance. So it perplexes me whenever dog apologists insist that dogs are anything but abnormal. Whether compared to a natural canine, such as the fox pictured here, or even a domestic house cat, you can tell just looking at a dog that something is off. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here is a perfect illustration of this fact. And you can do this with any dog breed. You can do this with any animal, whether wild or domestic. If you compare it side by side with a dog, you will get what I am saying. Like I said, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here is another prime example. Compare and contrast the two animals, on the left and on the right. Can you really tell me with a straight face, dog nutters, that the cane corso is a normal-looking creature? There is absolutely nothing majestic about the beast, pictured on the left. Another indication of how aberrant dogs are relates to the fact that they only populate human settlements. They aren't even being set to higher purpose, like other animals we've domesticated, and which are usually found exclusively on farms. Dogs belong neither to the field nor the forest, although they spring up in the cities like mushrooms and flourish like flowers in a meadow. They are more akin to vile weeds that smother out natural plants and kill crops. One should never allow weeds to go to seed, yet dogs are severely overpopulated. What's more, the lax attitude people have about some massive stench hound on the loose in a residential area certainly isn't helping matters any. They spread like wildfire and are every bit as much a cause for alarm. They are not a positive force. They are a parasitic farce. Their proliferation is profitable, and this unbridled expansion is now an epidemic. Dog-friendly establishments should really be called human hostile. It would be like adopting a euphemistic turn of phrase for areas where disease is endemic. What we have on our hands is a virulent craze, a virus of the mind, a mass sociogenic illness, and a socially destructive and largely unacknowledged canine colonization. Now, let's go back to this image. The reason I edited out the dog's genitals is because that is one of the things I find utterly repulsive about them. Their exposed genitals, much like their sagging tongues, which in most cases are hanging out of their mouths a significant percentage of the time. But also other abnormal physical traits are just as off-putting: floppy ears and drooping jowls. Look at the mastiff's disproportionate muscles and head. Look at how top-heavy and awkward the thing is. Look into its eyes and tell me what you see there. Dog nutters act like I have never looked into a dog's eyes before, but I have, and the hollowness and vacuity is striking. But with this particular dog, much like with the eyes of a pit bull, I see malice. Everything inside me is telling me that this is not a benevolent entity. Frankly, I don't know how anyone can look at one of these beasts and see something not only approachable, but something to cozy up to and cuddle up with. Dogs are simply unnatural. That is inarguable. As per the primary definition, natural being not made or caused by humankind, dogs are categorically not natural.
You eat bacon and eggs, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so do I. On the one hand, you got your chickens. On the other hand, you got your pigs. Well, I come up with a way to cut time and up productivity.
That's not natural.
Dogs do not naturally evolve to defend against predators or diseases, and with certain breeds, it is evident just based on their appearance that they surely must suffer from health complications as a result of simply being what they are. As Sonia J66 put it so well, pretty much all breeds living today are beset by a myriad of genetic or congenital deformities that are at odds with evolutionary fitness and health. And here is a paper she linked as well, which I will drop a link to down below in this video's description section. Supposedly, this is what dogs looked like before they became severely inbred, but they have always been aberrations. They have always been artificially created, inbred abominations. Dogs are man-made, and they are objectively worse for the environment compared to all other owned animals, and all wild animals. And there are air pollution and water quality studies, as well as the classification of dogs as an invasive critter, all of which corroborates this.
I will also comment on this idea many people hold in their heads, that dogs are essentially domesticated wolves. But in terms of behaviour, domestic dogs are as different from wolves as it gets. This is also true in terms of appearance with regard to most breeds, although there are a few exceptions. I am not even going to put a dog up on the screen for this slide. We all know what dogs look like. Contrast just about any dog with this picture.
While working as an ODFW summer intern, I had an exciting encounter with a wolf. I was alone, surveying an area for signs of wolf activity, when I saw a wolf walk out of the forest. As the wolf moved in my direction, it was clear that it didn't know that I was there. As it got closer, I said something quietly to alert the wolf. As soon as I did, the wolf stopped in its tracks, trying to figure out what made the noise. It turned and ran as soon as it realized I was there. Running away is a wolf's typical reaction to encountering a human.
Dogs do the opposite of this. They are the only animals we commonly encounter outdoors in cities that must be restrained in public for our safety, and because otherwise they are liable to intrude upon us in a number of ways, whether they are violent at the time or not.
Dogs are as man-made as a band-aid. They may have started as a plan-laid to expand aid, or at least that's the popular theory. But these beasts are now a cause for much fearing. As well as loathing, I do not want one near me. They defile everything wholly, and they won't let our ears be. They are used for controlling, and they leave parents teary. Of these creatures, we are all wary and weary.
If you want to support this content and see more of it, please like and subscribe. If you hate this content and want to fight for weird predator parasites, like and subscribe.